I bought this old petrol pump several years ago from auction. I paid £250, something like that, £300 for it. I've been trying to date it. It's made by the Wayne company, and we think it's round about 1912 to 1916. You can see there, Wayne. I've seen lots of models of these, but never this one, this particular one. So it is quite an unusual one. The door was locked on it when I got it. So what I've had to do is I had to get a blow lamp on these metal pins here, lift the pins out so that I could open the door. I've got the door open now. I'm not really going to do much restoration on it. It's just been cleaned. It's an unusual colour. I can't work out why it's this colour. I thought it'd been repainted into colours that somebody wanted, but looking at it, somebody has repainted it, but there's the original colour inside. So it's not far off what somebody's painted it. So it was like a greeny turquoise colour. It all works. Well, I say works. The handle turns. Obviously the seals will have gone, but my next job on this is there's no hose on it. Oh, well, there was a hose on it. So there was a fitting on here which I've removed, and there was a fitting on the end of this. So I'll get this out. So that's the pump where you would have put that into your fuel tank. So you would have gone along to your thing, put it into your fuel tank and filled it up with fuel. So that's, and I've taken the fitting off the end of there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a period hose for this. It would have been a canvas hose originally. There was a rubber hose on it when it came. So the rubber hose came from there, went down, bent and stopped there. It snapped off, and it was obviously a replacement hose, and the rubber had gone very brittle and was breaking. So I've taken that off. I've cleaned these two fittings up, ready to get a hose. So once I get a hose, we can move on to that, and then I can show you the next little bit of restoration that I'm going to do. I've shown you what's been happening with the petrol pump and how I've been starting to restore it, or sympathetic restoration. So I'm going to show you now where we're up to with the rest of it. So I've got the fittings off, I've cleaned the rubber hose off it, and I've just had a delivery of what I'm hoping is the correct period pipe. So I'll show you that now. So here we've got the fittings. This brass one was off the pump, the nozzle bit that goes into your fuel tank, and this chrome plated one was on the petrol pump itself. These did have a big thick, I was saying, a really stiff rubber in it. The rubber had perished and gone rock hard. So I've cleaned that out, which has given me this hole. I've done that on both of them. So that was quite difficult to do. Some of it flaked out and some of it didn't. So what I did was I got a blow lamp on it, heated it up, and it sort of went crumbly then. So I got a screwdriver in and cleared that out. So these are now ready for me to fit the pipe. I don't want to polish these up. I don't want this thing looking brand new. It's an old pump. I want it looking old. So in my trade, this is what we call sympathetic restoration. So I'm going to have a look at the hose now and see what's what with that. I'll put these to one side. This is the hose that's arrived. I think this is left over from the Second World War by the looks of it. What we've got on this now is a label. And the label says packed at 35 MU, whatever that is. A date, which I can't make out. Method 1, packed by number 11. And it says packaging and inspected by, which I can't read any of them either. So there's the label. On the other side, it's got this on it, which if I can, there you are, two-hand job. Not to be opened until required for use. 4K70, quantity, length 30 foot, hose, water 1 inch diameter. I'm not bothered if this is a hose for water or whether it's a hose for fuel. It's never going to have fuel through it, so it doesn't matter. It is literally just for cosmetic purposes. It's still all in its original packing from what I'm assuming was the Second World War. So I'm gonna open it now and just see whether this is the correct thing that I've ordered or correct thing that I bought. This looks like a greaseproof paper on here, but I'm not sure. I'll have a look at that. So I'm gonna it's a bit difficult this with one hand. I'll just put the phone down a second and then I'll come back and show you when I've cut it open. I needed 2 hands for that, so what I've done now is I've cut that. I've cut that across there. Now if this is from the Second World War, this hasn't been opened in, what, 80 years? This might not even be usable when I get into this. I might find it's completely unusable. Ah, it's not greaseproof paper. It's like 2 layers of paper with a bitumen in between it. Oh, look at that. So that's the original packaging. Like I say, it's like a bitumen paper. 2 layers of paper with a bitumen in between it. And here's the inner packaging. So it's wrapped up again now in a greaseproof paper. There's the label that was on the outside. So again, I'm going to need 2 hands for this, so I'll come back to you in a second with this. I've done the same as I did with the outer packaging. I've just cut this tape so that I can open it. I've gone through all this and it might not even be the right thing that I've ordered. Go. Same label as was on the inner packaging and the outer packaging. It's on the hose itself. Canvas hose. Some writing on it there. I don't know what the writing is. If I can get this end of this out here. So I'm just struggling a little bit here. Just try to get this out of here with one hand. There we go. Perfect. So that's rolled up like that. That's exactly what I needed. So now, in theory, my fittings should go onto there. So that is going to go like that. There we go. There, that's just slid on. I haven't fitted it yet, but that's how it's going to work. So, a result there. Let's have a look at the writing on it before I pack up. A993610/4S. That obviously means something to somebody, but I don't know what. There, there's the War Department arrow. So, there's my hose. I can get the fittings on the end of it now and get that onto my petrol pump. I'm really made up with this hose. It's proper period hose. This is what would have been on the petrol pump in the first place. When it was first made, a canvas hose like this. think these fittings may not be original because this groove around here is quite big, so I'm assuming these were made for the rubber hose, because when I put this one in here, if I can do this with one hand, guys, get that in there, it's not a dead tight fit, but for the purposes I need it for, that'll do absolutely fine. So all I'm going to do with this is, because it's only cosmetic and because I only want the hose to stay on with the fittings, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some silicone, really good quality silicone. I'm just going to put the silicone in there, right down at the bottom, push the hose in, and then when it's dry that won't go anywhere, that'll stay in place. So I'll put them two on and then I'll just show you when they're on. There's one fitting on. Here's the other one, you can see inside there. I've put plenty of silicone in there. And this one worked really well when I did it. I've just done it a few minutes ago and it's in place once that silicone dries. And all I did with this then was I got the hose, put it over that centre boss, and when I was putting it in, pushed it in, and you see there now, I've literally just pushed that in and I can lift it up with it already, so once that's dry, that's not going anywhere. So that'll be dry tomorrow. I'll fit the hose and then I'll show you what the hose is like on. I've now put the hose on this. So that's the canvas hose fitted. Well, it's fitted at that end. So coming down here now, this end here, it's got to be fitted onto there. So I'll do that, and then the job after that is to put some wiring in for a globe. A bit more progress on the petrol pump now. So the hose is fitted, so that goes, and then it's attached to the pump nozzle or whatever you want to call it inside there. I've done the wiring as well. So what I've got on the top is a bulb with a bulb holder. So I've fed the wires down now inside here, and then they come out from behind here. I've taken them down through the back of the casing, and then I've got them on a plug down the back. So that's where I'm up to now, and I've ordered a globe which I'm going to put on the top there. The only thing is I can't get a full-size globe on there, so I've had to order a small one. Finally got the petrol pump completely finished. Like I say, it was light restoration, not done too much to it. Got a period hose, canvas hose on it. Bit of a clean out inside. Some wiring up, and I got a glass globe for it. So I thought the globe looks quite nice. Again, period for the pump.